Location: The Velvet Room, downtown Los Angeles. February 2023. Jamal Thompson had been looking forward to his 18th birthday for months. The excitement had been building for weeks. Now, at the cusp of adulthood, he was ready to experience the kind of night he'd always dreamed of. He had chosen the Velvet Room, one of the most exclusive clubs in downtown LA, for the big celebration. The club was known for its high-profile guests, private VIP sections, and an atmosphere that reeked of luxury. It was the place to be for the city's elite, a night that seemed destined to be unforgettable. But it was the kind of place that wasn't easy to get into. To enter, you needed more than just a reservation. You needed status, connections, or money. Jamal, who had none of those things besides his enthusiasm and a credit card that had just enough to cover the VIP table, was determined to make it in. He had been planning this for months. He and his friends were ready to celebrate his big day in style. Jamal and his friends, a tight-knit group from high school, stood outside the velvet ropes, the sound of thumping bass spilling out from inside. They had all been buzzing with excitement, cracking jokes about what to wear and who would be the first to hit the dance floor. Malik, his best friend, was already boasting about how he'd outshine everyone with his moves. It was all supposed to be perfect, until they reached the entrance. Standing in front of them was a massive, broad-shouldered bouncer. He wore a black suit, arms crossed, his face impassive. Jamal approached confidently, showing his phone to the bouncer with the reservation confirmation in hand. "We have a VIP reservation under Jamal Thompson," Jamal said, a smile on his face. "We're here to celebrate my birthday." The bouncer glanced at the phone, then scanned the group with a look that seemed to dismiss them instantly. He looked at Jamal for a beat too long, as though assessing something he couldn't quite place. Then, without any further explanation, he said flatly, "You're not on the list. You're not getting in." Jamal blinked, his confidence shattering in that instant. "What? There must be some mistake." "No mistake," the bouncer interrupted. "Move along." A cold rush of confusion ran through Jamal's body. His friends exchanged uncomfortable glances, unsure how to respond. Jamal tried to protest, but his voice was swallowed by the bouncer's unyielding tone. "I paid for VIP access," Jamal insisted, now a bit desperate. "I have the confirmation right here." The bouncer wasn't interested. His eyes narrowed. "I said move along," he repeated, his hand motioning toward the sidewalk as two club employees appeared, pushing the group away. Jamal felt the humiliation crawl up his spine, his face flushed with anger and disbelief. He tried to make sense of it. There was no logical reason for this treatment. He wasn't drunk, he wasn't loud, he hadn't done anything wrong. Why was he being turned away? He watched as others, mostly white patrons, entered without even being questioned, laughing and chatting with the staff. Was it because of his skin color? Was he being judged by the color of his skin instead of his character? It was a painful realization, but Jamal couldn't shake it. His friends, now visibly upset, urged him to leave, but Jamal stayed behind for a moment, his eyes fixed on the door, the bass from the club still thumping in the distance. The video goes viral. As they walked back to their cars, Jamal tried to process the situation. His friends couldn't believe it either. The entire ride home was quiet. They were all on edge, angry, but unsure how to react. No one had expected such an outright rejection. But then, a twist of fate. Someone inside the club, likely an onlooker who had seen what happened, recorded the entire incident on their phone. The video, capturing Jamal being turned away, His confused and hurt expression and the dismissive bouncer quickly went viral. In less than an hour, the video was shared thousands of times. The story spread across social media, sparking outrage. People were furious at the blatant discrimination they had just witnessed. The hashtag #Justice for Jamal quickly trended. It wasn't just Jamal's story anymore. It was the story of anyone who had ever been turned away for the wrong reasons, for their skin color, their background, or their financial status. It struck a chord with thousands of people who felt they too had been mistreated by places like the Velvet Room. The call that changed everything. By morning, Jamal's phone was flooded with messages, notifications, and tags from strangers, influencers, and even journalists who wanted to cover his story. His email inbox was bombarded with interviews, offers of support, and questions from major news outlets. The video had become a social media sensation. Then, 2 days after the incident, Jamal received a call from an unknown number. He hesitated before picking it up, but when he heard the voice on the other end, his stomach dropped. "Is this Jamal Thompson?" the voice asked. "Yeah, who is this?" "This is Ryan Carter, PR director at the Velvet Room," the voice continued. "I'm calling to personally apologize for the incident the other night. We're deeply sorry for what happened, and we'd like to make things right." Jamal's heart pounded in his chest. What could this mean? The same club that had humiliated him now wanted to talk? "I know this apology doesn't fix anything," Ryan said, "but we've been reviewing the situation, and we want to show you that the Velvet Room is committed to making changes. We'd like to offer you a VIP experience on the house, and we'd also like to meet with you and discuss ways to improve our inclusivity." Jamal was stunned. He had never expected this kind of response. "What exactly do you mean by making changes?" he asked. "We're going to be more transparent with our policies. We'll be expanding our guest list to ensure everyone is treated equally. We want to hear your thoughts on how we can do better. And we'd love for you to be involved in that process," Ryan explained. After a moment of hesitation, Jamal agreed to meet. He wasn't sure what to expect, but something in the sincerity of Ryan's voice told him there was a real chance for change. A night of unexpected apologies. A few nights later, Jamal found himself walking back into the Velvet Room, but this time things were different. The same bouncer who had turned him away now stood to the side, awkwardly avoiding eye contact. Jamal was escorted past him, his VIP wristband slipping on his wrist as he walked through the doors. Inside, the atmosphere was just as lavish as he remembered. But this time, Jamal wasn't an outsider. He was being treated like royalty. He was led to a private room where Ms. Bennett, the owner of the Velvet Room, stood waiting for him. She was a middle-aged woman with a strong presence, and as Jamal stepped in, she immediately stood up, her expression apologetic. "Jamal, thank you for coming," Ms. Bennett said warmly, extending her hand. "We owe you a sincere apology for what happened. That was wrong, and I want to make sure you know how much we regret it." Jamal shook her hand, still processing the situation. "I never expected this. You've turned away so many people for years, haven't you?" Ms. Bennett sighed. "Yes, and it's time for us to change. After everything that's happened, we've decided to create a scholarship program for young Black artists, and we'd love for you to be part of it." A new beginning. Within weeks, Jamal became the face of a new initiative launched by the Velvet Room, a scholarship for underprivileged Black youth who wanted to pursue careers in the arts. Jamal was invited to help select the scholarship recipients, and he began speaking at events about the importance of inclusivity and equality. Jamal's life had taken a turn he could never have predicted. He had gone from being humiliated at the door of a club to becoming an advocate for change, using his platform to amplify the voices of others who had faced similar discrimination. When Jamal took the stage at the first major charity event for the scholarship program, the crowd erupted into applause. For the first time in his life, Jamal felt like he was truly making a difference. Want to hear more incredible stories like this? Make sure to subscribe to our channel for the latest updates on shocking twists and inspiring moments.